show that's 3 dimensions away from you having a pen named Steven that can do and write everything you say. I'm your host, 3D Jake, and today we're looking at Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is a sequel to the first movie, Shazam, released in 2019. Shazam, this time around, is still directed, once again, by David F. Sandberg, and is written by Henry Gardner, once again, and along with newcomer Chris Morgan, who you may know wrote the previous Fast and Furious movies, along with Hobbs and Shaw, and also the shitty Tom Cruise mommy movie. Also, in the movie, once again, stars Zachary Levi, and as well as Adam Brody, and, and several other people returning from the last movie, and the newcomers include Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, Rachel Ziegler, and Desmond Houseman once again returns. Sorry if I butchered that name. I really like this movie. I really like the first Shazam. The first Shazam to me is perfect. I really like that movie. It's a fun movie. Although, yes, I did say just now it's perfect. I might contradict myself by saying I thought it was perfect to an extent. I really liked the story. I liked the Shazam part of it, but I did not like the villains. To me, I was kind of butthurt that Black Adam was not the villain in that movie, because I'm like, that's his arch enemy in the comics. I'm like, to me, Savannah was not a worthy villain to counter Shazam. To me, I just felt like he just feels like a one-off villain, like almost like a side villain. He doesn't really feel like a main villain story, and that to me kind of irked me, And so when I saw this movie, I felt like the villains were worthy to Shazam, and that kind of made me smile, because I hated the fact that villain, like most DC movies, I like the villains. This was the first time, Shazam was the first time I did not like the villain. I thought the villain was just underutilized, and I just did not like the villain. I thought the villain was kind of lame. I had the same issue with Wonder Woman 84 that I had with the villains in Shazam. And this one, I actually really liked the villain. I really liked the villain. I thought Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu did a fantastic job. I will say Lucy Liu did a better job than Helen Mirren, only because I feel like she has more to do in the movie than Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren is almost like the leader in a way of this, but the only thing is, I feel like at first she has more to do, but then it kind of turns into Lucy Liu's kind of the main villain, and that's why I kind of had issues with that. And by the way, I really enjoyed this movie, okay? I really did. I am going to go into spoilers because the movie is officially out. I am going to go spoilers. If you don't want to see any spoilers, I recommend you go now. And I will say it is a solid A- movie, but I'm just going to say, I'm warning you right now, okay? I'm going to get into some spoilers, so if you have not read it, it's A- movie, that's my score, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to get into some spoilers, so if you want to go watch the movie, then come back and read my review, that's fine. But I'm just going to tell you right now, spoilers, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I liked the movie. I thought the 3 villains of the movie, the 3 sisters, played by Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Ziegler, I thought they were great villains, but I kind of felt like some of them were underutilized. Like, I felt like Helen Mirren, it almost reminded me of the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus. I felt like first, okay, she's the main villain, and I like that aspect of it, but then I did not like the fact that it just switched tables. I kind of like, well, it's Lucy Liu now, and I felt like, okay, like, it was building her up, but then it builds her down, because I'm like, well, she's more menacing, but then I understand they're trying to because Lucy Liu is more of a henchman throughout the first half of the movie, then the second half she becomes the main villain, and that kind of was like, well, that doesn't make much, I was like, okay, but it didn't bother me, because I still thought she did a great job in the movie, both of them, although that was going to be one of my dislikes, was Helen Mirren just being underused, but then I'm like, I understand why, because it's kind of passing a torch, because I understood why. That's why I was like, okay, it's like a passing a torch of, like, old and new, all 3 of the sisters have different purposes. And, like, one sister is like, she just wants to rule and conquer, and one sister wants to rebuild Atlas, and the other one, and then the other sister just wants to just live peacefully and have nothing, just have just a peaceful, and then so they all 3 have their ideologies, and I understand that. That's kind of why I'm gonna get rid of that dislike. I do think there's a lot of funny stuff in the movie. I love I Need a Hero at the beginning when they're trying to save everyone on the bridge. When they're playing I Need a Hero, when they're saving everyone, that to me was fun. I loved it. I thought it was cute. That to me, I was singing along with, like, I need a hero. That was fun. I went and saw this movie, by the way, at 10 o'clock at night, empty theater, because one, where I live, if it's a 10:30 movie, it's gonna be empty theater. It's nothing to do, not to do with the movie itself. It's just empty theater. In fact, when I left the theater, it was purely, there was nobody there. Like, not even the employees were there. It was literally, the parking lot was empty. I'm like, I could have robbed this theater right now and they would never know. I'm sure they would because they have cameras, but I'm just like, thank God I'm an honorable, upstanding citizen, or else he says, I'm just saying someone's going to come in here and rob them one day. Because I'm like, because I just literally walked out that door and literally left the theater, walked out that door, and I'm just like, wow. That's off topic, though. But yeah, I did really like the I Need a Hero scene. I thought the comedy was fun. I really enjoy it. I thought, him in the therapist office was pretty great. And them, like, using the fortress, using this as, like, their, like, the Solomon's Lair as, like, their fortress of solitude in a way where they're just, like, have TV and he's trying to be, like, a coach to them. And, and they're all just, like, have their own things they're doing. And it to me, and I really like that. And I liked how it's, like, the broken home thing where it's, like, okay, it's like he's afraid that, he's aging out of the foster system. And, and everything else. And so it's like, he feels like, that Shazam's all he has in a way. And that's what he is. And I understand that. And I thought I really appreciated that ideology of it. And I really like that. And the action was great. I love the fight scene between him and Helen Mirren when she just whoops his ass. I mean, Helen Mirren's like 80 years old. And she fought. And I was like, I was shocked to see the fights. I know most of it's CGI, but still, I enjoyed that. I'm like, damn, for Helen Mirren to even be able to move like that, it's like, there's a lot of, for her, because I thought, there's no way she's going to have a fight scene because, she's 80. But I'm like, oh, wow, even with the CGI, there are some parts where she goes, you have to still move. CGI doesn't do everything for you. And so I'm like, wow, I was impressed. I was like, good for Helen Mirren, and I mean, she has more fight scenes than Lucy Liu. And I was just like, wow, I was like, it was really great. I thought, I really thought she would be the one on the dragon. Lucy Liu would be the one fighting, because Lucy Liu was a lot younger than Helen Mirren. But I mean, hell, I'm just going to say that to Helen Mirren. Good for Helen Mirren, showing that, age is just a number right there, okay? Like you can kick ass at 80. Awesome for you, Helen. I'm sorry if you're like 70 something, I say you're 80. I'm sorry. But yeah, I really thought Helen Mirren in the fight scene was great. The Stephen the pen. There's a funny joke in the movie with Stephen. There's a pen, a magic pen they named Steve, and it writes, and they try to send a letter to the villain, like Helen Mirren and them saying, like, and then the pen writes everything they say. So they're like, oh yeah, he said, make sure you write this down too. And the pen writes, make sure you write this down too. And then they're like, all right, high five everyone. And they're reading, the villain's reading everything they say. Like, oh, high five everyone. Hey, who wants Gatorade? Hey, check and see if you have. I'm laughing, just like they wrote down everything they said, everything. Just like, and even stuff they weren't supposed to put in the letter. And that just made me laugh. I was laughing hysterically about that. And they're like, what is this Gatorade? They're talking. I just thought that was hilarious about that. I thought that was hilarious. And there's a unicorn scene. The unicorn scene with the Skittles. They feed these unicorn Skittles, and the unicorns eat the Skittles, and they become, like, that's what they said, the nectar. To them, that is ambrosia. The nectar to them, till they eat the Skittles, and they become, and this little girl just yells, the little girl, is just yells, taste the rainbow, motherfucker! Just like, I was like, that was so cute. I mean, that's in the trailer too, but I thought that was just fun. I thought that was hilarious. The Wonder Woman cameo, I understand that's just fan service, but I really enjoyed that cameo. I thought it was great to have Gal Gadot come back at least one or two more times as Wonder Woman. I understand she may be on her way out. I hope she isn't, but if she is, I understand. New DC going forward. But I really enjoyed seeing her again, especially with hearing her theme song. That, to me, made me happy. Even though I kind of felt like she was used in a cheaply way, I do still enjoy seeing her, and that kind of made me smile to see her. But, and I also, the plot of, about the broken family is what I really talked about, that I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Also, the post-credit scenes. I really enjoyed the post-credit scene, with Jennifer Holland, James Gunn's wife, and Steve Adge, where they come to recruit Shazam to the Justice Society, and he thinks he's being recruited to the Justice League because he has obsession with Wonder Woman, and it's just the Justice Society. He goes, is Wonder Woman in that? And like, no. I'm just like he's so bummed, and he's like, then he starts name dropping stuff like the Authority and then the Avengers. That to me made me laugh and fun. I enjoyed that, the cameo. I thought the jokes are all around were fun. I really enjoyed that. Now here's the things I did not like. I did not like Rachel Ziegler's character. About the third sister, she felt like she really did do nothing in the movie. Really, she's just there to be there. Like to me, it feels like just even like the stuff where like she's just there like for dialogue. Really, I mean that she does really nothing in the movie, and that to me, other than being a romantic interest for Freddy's character, that's the only thing she does in the movie. By the way, there's a funny joke in the movie where the wizard keeps calling Freddy Jeff, and my stepdad's name is Jeff, so that made my stepdad laugh. Also, that to me just like and I've also felt like Solomon is underused, by the way, as well. Like he's just there to like. There's no reason why he's resurrected other than just to be resurrected. And the only thing you get out of him is where he's occasionally cracking, like, being so serious to where it's kind of funny to watch him be so serious. Like, where he's referring to, like, Freddy as Jeff, that's the only real reason or a joke, maybe. Because, I mean, that's the only thing you just feel like he's underused, And also, he gets a wardrobe makeover at the end, so I guess maybe that's the whole reason why. Also, the Apple stuff, you have the staff, and then they do the Apple thing. I feel like, okay, so that's a bait and switch. So because really, it's like, oh, we need the staff. Now we got the staff. Okay, now we need an apple. I'm like, okay, so you need the staff. Now you need the apple. Like, just pick up your mind, okay? I mean, but I digress. But and also, the cheap way to resurrection. Also, like seriously, like they use Wonder Woman, bring Wonder Woman in just to resurrect, the staff. And then, of course, because Billy just goes out in a baller way. And then, of course, just cheaply gets resurrected because we need a third film. And I'm like, that to me, I'm like, it would have been cooler to see him die and then get resurrected in the third film rather than just leave it like on a bleak note. That to me would have been much, much freaking cooler than just that, And that I just thought that was kind of cheaply way just to, we got to bring Wonder Woman in and resurrect him and then she's going to leave again. Like, that to me just felt cheaply. And also, there's a stupid Fast and Furious joke that's in the trailer that when you first watch it, the trailer, it's funny, but then when you watch it in the movie, you're like, I've seen this joke 1,000 times. And also, the fact is, there's two reasons why that joke's not funnier now. Because Helen Mirren is in Fast and Furious 8, 9, and 10 and Hobbs and Shaw. And also, the co-writer of this movie is Chris Morgan, who wrote Fast and Furious. Wrote all those movies. So I'm like, okay, I can see why that joke's in the movie now. But yeah, I did really enjoy this movie. It's a fun movie. It's a fun time. If you want to bring the family to see it, it's hilarious. It's fun. You would enjoy it. I really enjoyed this movie. I would definitely watch it again. I can't wait to own it on 4K. If I had to give this movie a grade, I would give it a solid A-. Thank you so much.